How long until you fall in love with a robot?
About instantly.
Well, this is quite an interesting thing.
I already love my computer.
I found this article in the New York Times, how long until you fall in love with a robot? And it's basically talking about this concept, this science fiction concept of that robots will get to the amazing level of mimicking us that people can actually fall in love with them. But not just have romantic relationships. It might be a friendship. It might be a parent-child relationship. It can be anything. So if you can't have kids biologically, you could possibly have a robot kid and not really feel differently.
Yeah.
That's the sci-fi concept. But in the later years, we're starting to see this emerge. So the first thing is sex robots.
Yeah.
Which is like the first step.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this is that this is an industry that is happening now. And the New York Times article goes on to talk about what are the limitations of this technology. Are there ever going to be them? But my question to you, John, is if robots can make you fall in love with them, why would you fall in love with a human being?
Yeah. It's the evolution of the species, I'd say. I'd be surprised if it became the norm. Because as a species, you can't. That's kind of the point.
Yeah. To continue the human race.
That's like literally your number one goal on the list.
Yeah.
Is to procreate.
Yeah.
That's like top of your list usually.
Okay.
Because that's how we've survived.
Yeah.
Like you go, well, I might die, but at least there'll be a kid. There'll be a new me.
It's kind of
two.
It's about legacy and moving the human race forward.
But yeah, falling in love with a robot, it's interesting, isn't it? So, could it happen? Yeah, maybe. I'm sure a lot could happen. But becoming the norm, I doubt.
All right, here's a question. This is maybe a difficult question. What does a robot need to do in order for... It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but in order for you to have a friendship or romantic relationship with a robot, what are they missing right now, in your opinion?
Quite a lot.
Okay.
Feelings, probably top of that list, and its own personality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's two things that we haven't quite got there at all yet.
Mm-hmm.
With,
I think for me, a robot. Currently, if you look at Alexa and Google Home and things like that, they don't have a personality. They have this like weird personality that the developers have thought like, oh,
yeah,
when they ask this, she should like comment on the weather or something like that. But that's not personality. Personality evolves over time.
It's quirkiness somehow, isn't it? It's not personality. It's more like, oh, it'd be funny if it did this. And it's somebody else's personality imprinted on it. Yeah. And
going back to the sex robots side of things, there's an ethical conversation that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Where do you think it is ethical to have sex robots? And because obviously the sex industry can be both good and bad.
Yeah.
But do you think, say someone a guy that's abusive, buys like a child robot?
That's where it was going, wasn't it?
Is that ethical or not ethical?
Exactly. And I think it's way more ethical to have a child robot than a child, but still really weird. Yeah. And they need mental health.
They do. And anyway. Then, is it then, because currently it's not illegal to buy a sex robot that is a child.
Yes.
When do we make that illegal? When is that classed as encouragement?
And is that
because like
forcing it or?
Morally and like for you and I, that feels really uncomfortable and alarm bells straight away. But there are companies that can manufacture a child sex robot right now
Yeah.
and would sell it to whoever is willing to pay the £10,000 price tag
or whatever it is.
of whatever
But
it is.
also, I'd prefer that over a child.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the same time, like if that's the only alternative, go for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. I think
yeah.
I think the next 10 years, humans overall will begin to be closer to robots and to machines and to AI. AI already runs our like basic industry, which is like stock market, manufacturing lines and things like that. But when we come into customer service, now you've got the more intelligent phone calls where you talk to the computer that then decides whether you need to talk to a human.
Yeah.
Like I signed up to a new energy provider the other day,
Oh, right.
and I was talking to a bot.
Yeah.
It was like, would you like this or this? And I was like, I want this one. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay. And actually, this is really interesting. This maybe should be its own clip. So I was on the phone to this lady,
Yeah.
and real lady. She was walking me through the different tariffs for my energy contract.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the point where they had to make a legally binding deal with me,
Yeah.
she swapped to the bot. And then she said, you're going to have to talk to our automated system for a second. And the automated system went through about 2 minutes of terms and conditions with me. And then it said, and do you understand this bit? And I went, yep. Do you understand this bit? No. And then it clarified it for me. And then when I had like cleared up the kind of agree, but over the phone, I agree to these terms and conditions, then the human went, okay, thank you for that, and then carried on.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
I think that's
That's
very
really
cool.
awesome.
It's interesting, isn't it? That technology. Yeah, I mean, I think that technology is potentially going to aid us in different ways, where the human element is needed to make the deal, to convince me that I want to go with that energy company. They need a human to talk to me.
At the moment.
But
also, they're probably using AI advertisements everywhere.
Probably.
And your brain is going, energy.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was really interesting. Really,
that is really interesting. One of my friends works in a call center, and they say one of the one of the most complimenting things is being told you sound like a robot.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, you're doing your job then.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is weird.
You don't sound like a robot, John.
Yeah, good.